And welcome back after a short break. Go ahead and keep things going. Will Touche is up now on 43, sponsored by American Bank. His dad, Russell Touche, longtime employee of American Bank. Peter Briggs is up now 44, sponsored by Sola Communications. See a good shot of Peter. And leaves the 10. And Will looking to pick up his spare on 43. In keeping with what we've been doing the entire year, we're using last year's book averages on all these bowlers. Now, some of them are worse, a few of them are better, but we want to be consistent with what we're doing, so we're staying with last year's book average. Peter Briggs picks up the spare. And we have a scoring correction coming up. Leslie's going to take care of that. Natalie Boudreau is up on 43, sponsored by Haydell's Drugstore. Robert Locke owns that. And Natalie with the split. Stacy Belanger is up now, sponsored by Pole South of Louisiana here in the second game. She also rolled in our first game. And Natalie looking to pick up a difficult spare. And good try by Natalie. And Stacy Belanger on 44. Stacy had the slips on that one, Leslie.
Sure did.
RJ Ugas is up on 43. RJ had a 300 earlier this year, if I recall, Les. Is it this year or last year?
I don't know if it's this year or last year, but he had the 300, quite a few 700 series.
Solid strike. RJ Ugas, sponsored by Sam Broussard Trucking. And Nick Boudreau, sponsored by Dula and Edwin's Cajun Restaurant, up on 44.
And he best shoot better than 126.
I would hope so for his family life, yes. Leslie's two kids out there tonight. You saw Natalie a little bit earlier. This is Nick. Nick, a much younger, much thinner version of his dad. Of course, same can be said of my son.
Same about bowling, too. First frame, open.
Eric Jukes is up now 43. Eric, at 15 years old, rolled a 300 earlier this year.
He was the first junior bowler to shoot 300 here at Creole.
Eric, sponsored by Zach's Frozen Yogurt.
And the only junior bowler to shoot 700 in Creole.
Brad Maurice, sponsored by Landry and Doyle. He's up on 44. And Brad leads the 5. Some good bowlers out here in the second one. Had some good bowling in the first matchup as well. And Eric Jukes picks up his spare. And we see a good shot of Brad Maurice, Landry and Doyle, his sponsor. Looking for his spare, and he got it. And Marissa Rutledge is up now on 44. Marissa working on a spare, sponsored by Oakshire Po' Leaves the 136. Casey Lyons, sponsored by Gulf South Environmental Consultants, is on 43. And the strike for Casey. And Marissa picks up her spare on 44. And by the way, I did get a chance, of course, since we hadn't been back here yet. The last time we were here, Marissa's dad, Marion, brought me a roast beef po' boy from their place. I ate it after. It was excellent. Just excellent. Will Touche, sponsored by American Bank, up on 44. Leaves the 610. And Peter Briggs up on 43 now, sponsored by Sola Communications. Peter working on a spare. Oh, solid strike.
And these kids wanted me to bowl with them. I'm glad we didn't have a spot available.
Will Touche looking for his spare. Just slid by the 6. Natalie Boudreau will be up now on 44. Let's see a good shot of Natalie, sponsored by Haydell's Drugstore. Leaves the 139. And Stacy Belanger, sponsored by Bowl South of Louisiana, up on 43. Stacy leaving everything outside right now. She'll be bringing it in soon. She had a good game, her first game out here. Natalie Boudreau for the spare on 44. And she picks it up.
I taught her that.
Yeah. Stacy Belanger. That one looks a little better, Stacy. And she picks up the spare. R.J. Yuga, sponsored by Sam Broussard Trucking. He's up on 44, working on a strike. Make it a double. And Nick Boudreau up on 43, sponsored by Dula and Edwin's Cajun Restaurant. And strike on the Brooklyn side. Eric Jukes is going to be up now on 44. Eric working on a spare. Sponsored by Zach's Frozen Yogurt. Leaves the 10. And Brad Maurice, sponsored by Landry and Doyle, attorneys at law. And the strike for Brad.
Be some tough bowling tonight.
It sure looks like it. Eric Jukes for the spare. Slides by the 10.